And good Thursday morning, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Thursday, November 3rd at 7 a.m. on the East Coast. Republicans are gaining momentum in the final stretch before the midterm elections. Take a look at this new Quinnipiac University poll, finding voters prefer a Republican House over a Democrat House, 48% to 44%. That's a shift from August, when Democrats had a small advantage. We've got similar results in the Senate. New Fox News poll showing Republicans closing in on two major senatorial races. In Georgia, Republican Herschel Walker now within 1 point of incumbent Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock. And over in Pennsylvania, Dr. Mehmet Oz is within striking distance of Democrat John Fetterman. Joining the conversation all morning long this morning is Dagen McDowell, Todd, Piro, and Mark Tepper. We're seeing voters react to all of this, Dagen, in a big way.
Right. And in part, in the closing days of this election, the message from Joe Biden and the Democrats is to ignore the very problems that are plaguing the American people that are most important to voters. Ignore them and deny them.
Yeah, deny it, right.
And one thing, Karl Rove has his usual great piece in the Wall Street Journal today, and as we look at Georgia, he writes about what to expect next Tuesday in the 22 midterms. And he said the polls close, at 7 p.m. in Indiana, in 4 states, and including the rest of Indiana and Kentucky, part of Florida. He said, I'm going to focus on Georgia to see how much Governor Brian Kemp is beating Stacey Abrams, because the bigger the margin there, the better Herschel Walker's chances will be to win that Senate seat. And remember, if they don't get 50%, one of them doesn't get 50% of the vote, Warnock or Walker. More than 50% of the vote, the election goes to a runoff in December. But that's going to be, again, the enthusiasm of voters, particularly here in New York. These are conversations I've had with members, regular voters, but also people who are in politics. It's the enthusiasm of people on the conservatives to get out and vote, but also the lack of enthusiasm for these candidates among traditional hardcore Democrats. And then in Pennsylvania, Joe Biden only won Pennsylvania by 1.18 percentage points. 1.18. And so you're going to have to watch the margin of, of Fetterman versus those margins. But Pennsylvania's mail-in ballot rules are so convoluted, it's going to be hard to tell who wins on Election Day.
That debate was a disaster for Fetterman.
Right.
I mean, a total disaster. And after that debate, a lot of Republicans started changing their tune in terms of the Senate, because we know that we're going to see a big win in the House. But the Senate, yesterday we had John Barrasso on from Wyoming. He said he's expecting a win in the Senate. Todd, we also had Senator Rick Scott on, and he said that he's expecting the GOP to take up to 54 seats in the Senate.
Well, when you look at the polling, you have to always take that with a caveat that polling is historically left-leaning. And we've all spoken with a number of individuals who are right-leaning who say, I would never talk to a pollster. Well, that factors into the equation. If Republicans and conservatives aren't talking to pollsters, you can understand how they have a leftist bias. Yet, despite that, you're hearing people like Rick Scott come out with that 54-seat prediction. We interviewed Don Bolduc running for Senate in New Hampshire today on our program. The last time we had him on the program, he had a huge spread. And we had him on because, he's a friend of the show. We had him on to talk about Ukraine sort of as a courtesy. Today, we had him on because he is leading in the polls in the state of New Hampshire. The fact that New Hampshire is in play is insane. And one final thought to Dagen's point. Mark Levin was very cautionary when it came to this. He said, Republicans, you haven't won anything yet. You still need to get out the vote. And even if you get out the vote yourself, it is incumbent upon you to get your friends, family, and neighbors to vote, especially those individuals who may be disaffected with the system, who say, oh, my vote doesn't count. Your vote can count. And if you're a Republican, it can lead to a red tsunami.
And I'll just point out that General Bolduc doing that well despite no money from Mitch McConnell.
No money.
Okay, McConnell is holding the purse strings. We know that. And, in some ways, this is a referendum on Mitch McConnell versus Donald Trump, because he's, pulling money in some cases for these Trump-endorsed candidates. Mark, a new study reveals Republican candidates are facing substantially more scrutiny in the mainstream media. This is unbelievable. I guess guess you could expect it. More scrutiny for the Republicans than Democrats. Media Research Group finding that news outlets are airing negative coverage of the Republicans 87% of the time, Mark.
Yeah, and you know what, though? I mean, it seems like all right, the moderate voters who are right in the middle, I think they're starting to see through this, right? They watch these negative ads and they realize that it's the Democrats who hold all the cards right now, and they have not been effective at dealing with the problems we're facing as a country, and that's a problem. And you know, we can look at the polls until we're blue in the face. I prefer to look at the betting odds markets. I tend to believe that those are more accurate.
Yeah, what do they say right
to
now?
Todd's point, you know, the polls can be left-leaning. Right now, 70% chance of a Republican sweep. Herschel Walker, 61% chance. Dr. Oz, 60% chance.
Wow.
53 seats in the Senate, 28 pickups in the House. Sounds like a red sweep to me. Sounds like, you know, I think things are going to be a little bit redder than the polls are leading us to believe.
Yeah.